Over the past few weeks, I haven't been feeling very great in terms of my emotional state. There are times when I feel extremely happy or just really neutral about certain things. But most of the time, I was feeling really down and I guess you could say lost. There would be this point where I start questioning what I'm feeling and I start questioning what I've been doing over the past few weeks or months. And on a lot of those days, I end up listening to music because listening to music comforted me. But as I'm reflecting on those days, I realized that listening to all that music just made me feel even worse once my playlist ended. Listening to this music invoked the very feelings that I didn't want to feel anymore. Listening to the music just made me feel better in that moment. But it made it that much harder for me to improve my mental state so that I could move on. And I hadn't realized it in the past few weeks, but now that I'm looking back on it, it was all just self-sabotage. Listening to the music was self-sabotage, and it had to stop. If I wanted to get over this thing, why was I making it that much harder for myself to do so? Why did I keep doing things that reminded me of those feelings that I was trying to move on from? Wasn't it simply counterproductive for me? The morning of 5th of August, I was wondering to myself, how did I not realize that listening to this music was affecting my mood, making me feel worse? And why didn't I realize it sooner so that I could change it? The answer is actually really quite simple. It was comfortable. In a way, it was comfortable for me to just continue indulging in those feelings because I had been feeling them for so long. It would be weird to suddenly not feel those emotions anymore. And so subconsciously, I just kept giving myself the chance to feel that way because to me, it had become my new normal. It sounds really stupid, right? Because the thoughts and feelings I already had were way more than enough. I didn't need that extra affirmation that feeling like this was good. And self-sabotage can occur in many different areas. It can occur in building habits, when you're going through a heartbreak and you're trying to get over someone, when you're trying to be super productive in your day, or when you're just trying to form better connections, but better relationships with other people. If you're trying to build a new habit, why are you surrounded by things that remind you of that bad habit you're trying to replace? Those things would just make it easier for you to relapse, right? Admittedly, it's not so easy to be self-aware such that you know when you're self-sabotaging. It might take days, it might take weeks, it might take months to even realize that you're not getting anywhere. I was in my own head for, I would like to say a few weeks, but I think it's really been like this for a couple of months. Maybe it's even been like this for a whole year. I have no idea how long it's been, but that's my point exactly. It took me over a year to become self-aware that I was self-sabotaging. It's only when I've been journaling the past few days that I finally realized I've been self-sabotaging. Journaling makes it so easy to realize what you're actually thinking. It makes it so easy for you to see, oh, these are the thoughts I'm having. These are the negative things I'm thinking about. Because you can just spill everything onto a page and you're actively listening to your thoughts as you're writing them down. The main question I asked myself when I was journaling is, what am I actually trying to do right now? Asking myself that question made me realize that what I was trying to do was not aligned with what I was actually doing. I was trying to get over these negative feelings, but what I was doing was not aligned with that. Instead of trying to make it easier for me to get over it, trying to help myself, I was self-sabotaging by listening to all of this negative music. Asking myself this question helped me realize that giving all of these negative emotions, all of these feelings free rein to just run around in my head and just pop out whenever they wanted, that wasn't what I needed. And it made me aware of how hard I was making my own mission become. Hopefully, if you ask yourself this question, it can help you figure out the steps you need to take to stop self-sabotaging. If you're a student who's preparing for their upcoming O-levels like me, why are you making it 10 times harder for yourself to start studying by making it 1,000 times easier for you to just pick up your phone and start scrolling on TikTok or start playing this random mobile video game? If you're trying to make it such that you snack less, Why are you surrounding yourself with snacks in your house? If your desk is filled with snacks, of course you're just gonna pick it up and start eating it, right? But if your house is not filled with snacks and instead there's like healthy food like fruits, right? Then naturally you would gravitate towards consuming healthier foods over snacks. So what are you doing? Is it helping you or is it self-sabotage? To stop self-sabotaging, just ask yourself what your actual goal is. If I'm trying to get over these feelings, why the flip am I listening to this kind of music that's reaffirming these emotions that I have? Why the hell am I doing that? If you're trying to build a good physique, you're working out daily, you're sleeping well and everything, but you're not making any progress, then the only other thing that can be holding you back is your diet. So you've built good habits in certain areas, but yeah, your bad habits, your self-sabotage is just making it such that you take the same number of steps backwards and you negate all of the progress you've made. So if you're doing mostly everything right, the easiest way to just start making more progress is to just stop self-sabotaging. If you don't even know if you're self-sabotaging or not, then you need to go and journal and ask yourself, really reflect on your actions in the past few months, like I just started doing. Today is 10th of August. I wrote this journal entry on 5th of August. If you haven't realized, this video is just an adaptation of my journal entry. Journaling is, like I said, one of the best ways to go about realizing if you are actually self-sabotaging or not. Just do a reflection. Just really ask yourself that question. What are you trying to achieve? And are the things you're doing aligned with that goal? Because how else are you supposed to move forward and make more progress towards your goal if you're self-sabotaging? Like in my journal entry, I wrote, it's gonna take me some time to completely get over these feelings, but at least now that I've identified that I'm self-sabotaging, I can start moving on. I can start moving forward. And frankly, in the last 5 days, because today is 10th, right? I wrote this on the 5th of August. I dare say I have made a significant amount of progress. Like, I stopped listening to that music on Monday. Today is Saturday. And I feel so much better. I don't have these feelings nagging at me at the back of my head. The whole of yesterday, I didn't feel those negative emotions. So I've stopped self-sabotaging and I've made all of this progress. The last year has probably been the most emotional period of my life because I've gone through so many ups and downs in the last year and a half. I could have felt this way last year, but I made it that much harder for myself. And all that changed from then and now is that I've stopped self-sabotaging. So go and figure out what you're doing that is self-sabotage. Go and figure out what's holding you back. And just a side note, it doesn't hurt to just ask someone how they're doing.